In this video, I'm going to show you a trick. Well, not much of a trick, it's just what I do. So this is what we have here, is maybe, I don't know, 10 pounds of sabara fruit that we simply squeezed out all of the seeds. We squeezed out all the seeds and broke them up. And I put them in perlite. And a lot of perlite. More perlite's better than not enough because you want the seeds covered, okay? So right now, these are all the seeds, and there's some skins in there. You don't really want too many skins, but mostly seeds. And you want to cover the seeds and make sure there's no clumps of seeds all sticking together. But we're going to take these seeds now that they've sat in this room in my house that's air conditioned. Not really. It's more like a garage in here. We don't get a lot of air circulation in here, so it doesn't dry out as much as if it would be in the house where we had airflow. But this is a good room. It's cool with the tile on the ground. It's cool. It's good to store fruit like that on the ground. You see how I have them on the tile? Good air circulation. You don't want them bagged up or anything or sealed in. But the seeds are drying out right now a little bit. And that's good to let them dry a little bit. You don't want them to dry out totally, but a little bit of drying is good. And that's what I was doing here. It's not totally necessary to let them dry out. I think I'm going to go ahead and show you how to plant these right now, but adding the seeds to the perlite is very good for germination. They will germinate just in the perlite alone. I think it's got some kind of aluminum in it or something, the perlite, and they like that. Whatever chemicals are in here, they enjoy it. So bunch of sabara seeds. You can't even see them, but they're in there. Here's one. They're very small and they're pretty clean. So we're gonna go plant those. Show you how. Thanks, Rayleigh. Got this lovely knife that was donated to us by Rambo. Oh shit, I shouldn't get your teeth dirty. But I've come up with this trick here it's sharp.
That's good.
This is what I do though. I almost feel like I could use this the saw side. Saw side. Nah. This knife works very well for what we're doing, actually. Okay, so if I can get this off here. I want to do it fast so I don't have a lot of video to edit, but this part right here I can put under a plant and it'll be like a little dish. And maybe poke some holes in it. They do need some drainage, but that'll stop the oak roots. When you put the plants underneath the oak, they like to be there until the oak sends the roots up into the pot. But this will help stop that for a lot of these plants. It's nice to have a plastic barrier, but you don't want it to stay too wet either. Unless it's a really dry season. If it's a really wet season, that's bad. So we're gonna stick that there. All right, now we're gonna turn right back over here. And then do this. Same thing, and we'll have another piece. But I was using the plastic from my greenhouse. Whenever the hurricanes come, it tears off my plastic, and then I have all this plastic left over. I started laying it down on the ground for my plants, and it was a good idea. It just keeps the ones that I grow like a little moisture in the soil, and it keeps them wetter and better. But here's another one, and I'll poke a couple holes for drainage in here. Oak roots probably come through that too. And then this one we take and we cut it here. Oh gosh, I suck. It's not how you're supposed to do it. This knife is dull. Put this fucker back. Okay. And then now we simply remove. And then now we have one more piece that I can lay down, and I've been laying them down in strips like this and putting plants on top, and it works out very well for me. That's that. I want to show you that. And then now, ooh, you want to get all the lumps out when you mix your soil. Probably easiest just to use your hands. I've seen people stepping on it before, but I don't want to get my toes too dirty. I'm just busting up these rocks. It smells good, reminds me of my childhood. My mom had atrium, and I remember peat moss and seeing plants being watered inside the house. Early memory. She had her thumb on the end.
In the house?
In the house. In the fucking house.
In the house.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's all coming back. What am I looking for here, huh? Perlite. This is just a little bit of perlite. Normally I would wet all this down, but we're not.
It's not too bad today.
Not too bad. I need some of this fertilizer and I don't have it, and I'm not gonna go get it. But normally I add fertilizer to this. I guess I'm not gonna add it because I don't have it. I don't think I really need it.
Just put it on top?
I could put it on top, just a touch, because we're planting seeds here. A lot of times, my opinion is, yeah, fertilizer would probably help. It probably would. But the seed's got all the energy in it that it needs. And if you have the right conditions as far as pH and all that, you'll be fine. And I'm not too worried. I'll fertilize them, I will. That mycorrhiza makes all the difference, and I think fertilizing is very good. So I should do it. And it's nice to add it to the soil. I'm talking myself into walking over there and getting it, actually. But this mixed up real fast, real nice. It's almost there. Don't need a lot of perlite for what we're doing. Could use straight peat moss.
What do you use the perlite for?
Just, I don't know. It helps drainage. It like looks good. It's just what you get in your soil mix. I don't know. It helps. It helps drainage. So this is the hollytone. It's got some good stuff in it. That's like beneficial bacterias and fungus or some shit. Living stuff. And it's good to just at least get a little bit in here. I'm not gonna go super crazy. This is a light fertilizer with only a 434. And normally a lot of your fertilizers you get are like a, 6 or 8 or higher. So this is not gonna burn a lot of stuff. It's good for what I grow. Hard to overdo it, but you can. Now, this is something a little different. This is a product that's called Turf Pro. It's really for like gardens and grass, but it's organic. It's got humic acid in it. I don't know, it's pretty good stuff. You take it and you do like this. Well, this has got a hole in it, the bucket does, but it'll hold some water. I'm just gonna kind of get some water going. Because first I wanna wet this soil down anyway, but I wanna pour some of this shit in and dilute it like this. And then let it go. Just drains very slowly. Could probably add more, but I'm not gonna add too much more. A little bit more maybe. Yeah, this is supposed to be humic acid. It's like charcoal before it turns into charcoal or some shit. Then the coal seams, man. Natural product. It's supposed to be good.
Have you used it before?
Yeah, I've used it all the time. I use it all the time. These have got to be watered. Okay. Oh, these have got to be watered. I repotted these yesterday. They were dying. Too dry. Get them on that mat and get them wet. I think they're called jaboticaba. Now we just water in this soil a little bit. If you mix it when it's dry, I used to do a lot of dry mixing, but tell you what, if you're going into spring and you're doing a lot of repotting and you're not getting rain, really bad. You gotta wet this stuff down if it's really dry. Definitely wet it down. It helps a lot. Makes the plants a lot happier. There's like an initial phase of hydrophobia with this stuff where it just doesn't want to get wet at first. And you gotta do it for these plants. You put them in without wetting it first and you can water them so much and it doesn't do shit. I experienced that this year and had some plants that I just recently repotted that dried out right away. Just sucked all the moisture out of it. Look at it, still so dry.
It takes a while.
It takes a while. But this is better than nothing. to at least have this going. You don't want it too wet either. There's a perfect happy medium. It's getting close. But you almost have to mix it and then water down the top. And then mix it and water down the top. You do it like in layers. Stratified. I guess you can cut it.
Go.
So we had all of our ingredients mixed in. We wet the soil. That was so we don't breathe it in when we're mixing it, and so that everything stays wet once we plant it. If you don't water it beforehand, they suffer. Seedlings, seeds and all that, when you plant them, just wet it down if you're doing this mix. This is pretty good and wet. We're gonna plant these not totally full, right about a little more than halfway full. And yeah, this is good and wet, and push it down kind of flat, but you can see like the level there, it's like a little more than halfway full. Then you take your seeds, and these are all just Sabra seeds. We don't want too many at once. Just come around the edges at first. Try to space everything out, and only put about, I'd say about 30 seeds per pot. And just kind of sprinkle them on like toppings on pizza, and then press them in a little bit. Not deep, but like lock them into the soil surface so you can still see them there. Like that. They're locked in. And then just the slightest bit over the top. Just nothing really, just a little bit. You want them to be exposed basically. That's that. And so that's the easiest way I've found to grow these. If you sit and take the time and put them in plugs, it's just a pain in the ass. And the plugs are a lot harder to deal with, the trays. I do it this way for something like the Sabra, and then this way you can go through looking for hybrids or new varieties and just scan through the pot and then pull it out. But the trick is spacing them evenly and not overloading the pots too much. You don't want to have 100 seeds in here. That gets hard to separate. But if you just have 30 or 20 seeds evenly spaced, pizza toppings, think about it like that, your pepperonis or whatever your sausages, and it's easier to separate like that.
Just a little bit of soil on top.
Just nothing really. The only reason I put the soil there is to stop an animal from just seeing it outright and taking it, like a rat maybe try to take it. But I'm gonna put these in a cage or somewhere protected. But man, I have so many pots that I'll have to plant like this just all day long. But this is, like I said, the fastest way. If you sit and take the time and try to put these individually into cell packs, first off, that's a shitload of labor. Second off, that's a ton more space. Third off, they're fucking annoying to deal with. They break apart into all these pieces. I can reuse these year after year. The only downside to this is there's more labor in separating them. And the other thing about a cell pack is if you get a standard cell pack, they're only about this deep. And then you can get the tree plugs that are that deep, that's 5 inches. I'm getting more root space and size faster by growing. It gives it more space. It's better than growing in a plug, in my opinion. But this is what gets people. If you live somewhere like Arizona or California, even maybe Texas, somewhere where it's real dry and you don't get a lot of rain and you have hot days, you're gonna have trouble keeping these alive after you separate them, because you're gonna have to water them every day, and like there's a state of shock. But I don't have that as much here because I have all my plastic mats underneath all the oak trees, and I know how to deal with that. But other people, if you take these seedlings and try to separate them and just put them out in full sun and water them every day, they may live, but they may die if you don't have a greenhouse or plastic mats underneath trees with all shade. I'm talking 100% just filtered light, no direct sunlight. That's how you nurse them back to health for sure after you stress them like that. And that's my job. I mean, I do it all the time. So we're gonna plan on stressing these out at some time. But when you go to separate them, you'll notice you don't stress them out at all. You can get big clumps and they all come out together. I'm gonna stack these up actually because we're taking them somewhere else. But look at the way I'm going. This is gonna take me a long time. Just trying to think of anything else to tell you about why I do it this way. Those are the main reasons there. Saves time. And the downsides would be the separation shock. That's the main downside I can think of. But
wouldn't you get it anyways?
No. In a plug, no. Like if you got something really rare that you care about, like if these were $30 seeds or something, I would never do this. But these are for Sabras. I'm okay to lose a few. And if I see one I really like, I'll make sure to get it. Like, I'll every other tree up next to it. I shouldn't have said the F word. I'll blank it out. I'll take every other tree out just to save that one and make sure that I save that tree. I have to edit that out, huh? I don't want to do much more on this.
Yeah.
But I might show them how to separate the trees. I've got them that need to be separated all over. I mean, it would make the video better. And I like to press them down a little bit. Push them in there like that. Never too deep. Shallower is better than deeper. Because they fall off of the ground and just germinate. They fall onto the ground. And I haven't even made a dent in this. I have not even made a dent in this. There's literally 2,000 seeds here. And I'm planting them at like 30 at a time. See, as you go on, you start to be like, shit, I got to add more. You do more and more. But then that gets harder and harder to separate. I'm going light. I'd rather have less seeds in the pot and not do 100. You want there to be, in this size pot, you gotta, like if this was a 1 gallon, I would only put 8 seeds. If it's a 3 gallon, I'm only putting about 20 to 30 seeds. The more you put, the harder it's gonna be. The roots get all tangled up and then you really mess them up when you go to separate them. But shit, in a 3 gallon, if there's only 30 seeds, I think I can do pretty good, especially if you space them kind of good, but I'm not doing the best job. I could be a lot more meticulous in this, but less is more. Don't plant too many in one pot. And then the light covering, just keep it moving. But think of the value. All right, let's talk about this. These are seeds that came from a fella named John Kimber. He's got his tree fruiting next to a red, probably a Grimmel. I think mainly just a red. But there could be some hybrids in here, some variegated shit. Anything could happen. I've gotten a ton of hybrids from John. So to me, it's worth it just to plant these seeds to have as rootstocks, possible hybrids, and just go with it, man. These are strong seedlings that should result from these trees. Like good varieties only, capable of tolerating our conditions very well. The Grimmel Sabra hybrids I got from John are some of the strongest trees I've ever grown. I'm talking my mouth off. I'm showing you how to do that there. I think we're going to have to come back to this another day, honey.
Yeah?
I don't want to keep doing this, no.
I'll help.
Yeah. Then we got to move all these pieces of stuff.
I'm gonna pause it.